toxic people. Toxic people. Who are these toxic people? Because you have to expect to be around them. You got to get ready for these folks. These are the doubters and the dream stealers in your life. Sometimes these are the people that are around you that are the closest. How do you recognize whether or not somebody's toxic or not? They're totally non-supportive. They question why you're doing this. They plant seeds of doubt. They try to fill your head with their limiting beliefs. Some of you, when you were leaving to come here to Madrid, some of these toxic people actually asked you this question: why are you going to Madrid for another meeting? You already know who they are. So you got to tune out toxic people at all costs, because not everyone can go where you're taking yourself. Don't let anybody take away what this weekend has done for you. Don't let anyone's negativity rent space in your head. I want you to remember one thing. God gave you a purpose long before somebody had a negative opinion about what you're doing. So your associations are critical to success. You are a walking endorsement of the people that you hang around with the most. And so those are the two things that I thought about to developing belief in ACN and belief in yourself. Now, what's the next step? The next step is that you have to be committed to what you're doing. You have to commit to what you set out to do, otherwise you're not going to be around long term. How many of you were in the leadership session on Friday morning where I talked about you got to be all in? Are all of you all in, yes or no? 100% commitment is critical. It's also the most difficult to maintain. And so that's the reason why most people don't make it in any business. And I want to spend some time on this topic right now, because here's the reality as well. Every single one of you are going to face challenges. You're going to face disappointments. This is not going to be easy. But anything of great value never comes easy. I promise you there's going to be some days, folks, and you may get to a point where you'll question yourself of whether or not you have what it takes to win. The reason why I'm telling you that is because we questioned ourselves as well. We didn't know whether or not we had what it took. But here's the great thing about where we've come from. See, I think, growing up in the inner city had a lot of value to me. You know why? Because I didn't have any other options for my life. I had to make this work. Does that make sense to you? Sometimes there's great value in having no other options for your life. See, if you have options, there's a good chance that you'll exercise those options when things get tough. And you will always take the path of least resistance and quit if you're not 100% committed to what you're going to do. But commitment doesn't show up when things are going good. See, hardships reveal how committed you really are. You got to make your purpose stronger than your pain. You got to make your commitment stronger than your circumstance. And you got to make a decision right here and right now, before you leave this arena, that you're going to be here long term, that you're going to stay the course, that you're going to stay in the game, that you're going to keep on keeping on, no matter what. How many of you can commit to being here long term, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Let me ask you a question. If it took you 5 years to become a senior vice president at ACN, would it be worth it?
Yes.
If it took you 10 years to become a senior vice president at ACN, would it be worth it?
Yes.
Absolutely. You just got to keep on keeping on, no matter what. I would rather have you fall short than stop short. Here's what I know. If I kept on moving forward and I fall flat on my face one day, as long as I fall forward, I am 5 foot 11 inches closer to where I want to go. You just got to keep on keeping on. 100% commitment is critical. Without it, you will never make it. So belief and commitment are essential. But without this last truth, those two major things are useless. You see, you just can't have belief and commitment and do nothing and expect to win. There's a verse in the Bible that says, faith without works is dead. So you can believe all you want. You can read affirmations. You can have all these things listed on your mirror at your house. I am good. I am great. I'm the best. I'm going to do this. But if you never get around to doing anything, nothing's going to happen for you. We have to get out and do it. So what is this last truth that I want to share with you before we end this session? Here it is that you got to do it. You got to bring a great work ethic. See, the dream is absolutely free, but the journey is not free. Desire and ambition run cheap. Everybody wants to be a senior vice president, but very few people are willing to pay the price to become a senior vice president. You should never wish for something more than you're willing to work hard for. Does that make sense to you? All of this is disguised as hard work. We can give you everything to win. We can give you a great compensation plan. We can give you an environment. We can give you services. We can give you products. We can give you everything except one. We can't do it for you. You got to be willing to pay the price, because this is not get rich quick. You got to be willing to go to work for however long it takes. And the only definition of work at ACN is talking to people. And the more people you talk to, the more you increase your odds of success. The more people you talk to, you increase your odds of finding people that are just like us. People that are hungry. People that are willing to sacrifice. People that want more out of life. Are you willing to do more for your life and for your family? More so than anybody else that's around you that you know, yes or no? How do you find people like us? How does that happen? You got to be a professional sorter that you've heard all weekend long. So I want to give you a game plan, if I could, to set you off in the right track. I want to give you a game plan, and I want to get you started on this path of doing it. Get you started on this path of jump-starting your business. And I thought about 3 windows of time that you need to take advantage of that I want to share with you before I close. Is that a deal? Here's the first window of time that's very critical. It's 72 hours. Now, why do I say 72 hours? Here's the reason why. Look, we've been doing this for a long time. This is 25 years for us. And here's what we've noticed. That if you don't do something, if you don't plan your schedule and make sure your schedule is full within the next 72 hours, if you don't have a game plan within the next 72 hours, you are never going to do anything significant in ACN, because you are always going to go back to doing what you've always done. So in the next 72 hours, you need to make sure your calendar's full. When you're in the airport, waiting for your flight to fly home, look at your schedule, look at your calendar, start making phone calls. Make sure you get your business off to a great start. Don't waste the next 72 hours. Otherwise, this weekend will not be significant for you. So the first window of time is the next 72 hours. The second window of time that I want to share with you is the next 16 days. So what happens in the next 16 days? The next 16 days are all that we have left in the month of October. How many of you want to have a great month of October? You want to close out the month of October strong, yes? My encouragement to you is, whether you are a brand new person or whether you're a senior vice president at ACN, that you qualify or re-qualify as an executive team trainer at ACN, which means that you're gonna recruit a couple people, you're gonna get them qualified, you yourself are gonna go out and get customers. How many of you can commit between now and the next 16 days that you can qualify or requalify as an executive team trainer at ACN? Let me see a show of hands. If that gets done, I promise you, you will jumpstart your business. If it don't get done, you're going to go into November without any momentum. And all this weekend was going to be was just an exciting weekend that you've experienced. And it won't be very meaningful to you in regards to building a business. So here's the third and final window of time that I want to share with you. Here it is. 131 days. Do you know what happens in 131 days, Lord willing? We are all going to be in Rotterdam. I know that we've been talking about Rotterdam all weekend long. And I told a group of people last night, in fact, we got around to talk to a lot of people last night. We talked to a lot of groups. In fact, we were in front of thousands of people last night. And we were out as soon as the event ended. Myself, Mike, and Larry, we went out, and there's plenty of organizations that had team meetings, and we saw as many people as we could. And here's what I told folks last night about Rotterdam. I said, the reason why we talk so much about the next event is because the international events happen to be the greatest business building tool that ACN has. We're not in the seminar business. This isn't what we do for a living. We're in the customer acquisition business. And one of the things I told the group last night that I'll share with you is this. This is one of the things that I love about ACN. ACN is a very, very, very pure system. It's as pure as it gets. You know why? The only way that we win is if you win. The only way that we make money is if you make money. Is that okay? Yeah. The only way that we get customers is if we show you how to get customers. Is that okay? The only way that we can become a multi-billion euro company is if we show you how to build your multi-million euro company within this company. How does that sound? The only way that we're successful is if you're successful. Is that okay? So if that's the case, if that's the way that it is, why would we ever tell you something or suggest you to do something that would not be in your best interest? That just wouldn't make any sense, would it? So why are we telling you to go to Rotterdam? Because we know what the next event will do for you. How many of you in this arena wish that you had one more person at this event right now? Don't you wish you had more people here? Why do you say that? Because you want people to feel the exact same way you do. You know that if they see what you saw, if they experience what you experienced, they're going to go back home totally different people. That's why you want more people here. So that's why you want to pack Rotterdam with as many of your people as possible. And I would suggest that you start off with a number 50. Those of you that are brand new, you should commit to bringing 50 people to Rotterdam in the next 131 days. Now, some of you may think, my gosh, how in the world am I going to get 50 people to Rotterdam? It's very easy. Can you find 5 people to bring 10 people? Would that be too difficult? If you did that, you'll have 50 people in Rotterdam. If you have 50 people in Rotterdam, all feeling the exact same way that you do right now, can you imagine where your business could be by the end of the first quarter of 2018? Can you imagine where your business could be by the middle of 2018? Can you imagine where your business could be by October of 2018 if you jumpstart your business by showing up to Rotterdam and bringing a bunch of folks? How many of you want to become a regional vice president? How many of you want to become a senior vice president? How many of you want to win? How many of you want to do something great for yourselves and for your families? You got to jumpstart your business. You got to get serious. Don't tell me that you want to be a senior vice president and don't show up to Rotterdam. It doesn't fit. Those two things don't make sense. But if you want to win, you'll sacrifice, you'll pay a price, and you will win. just like all the great leaders at ACN have. So there you have it, folks. The hardest part's been done for you. The track's been laid and proven for the last 25 years. We are positioned for a purpose. This is the time of open doors for ACN. This is the year of harvest. The foundation's already in place, and now it's up to you. And you just need to ask yourself this one question. Will you build your house on the foundation that's been laid for the last 25 years? You see, we make our decisions, and our decisions make us. And I'm telling you, you are one decision away from positioning yourself from the greatest growth that this company will ever experience. Over the next 3 years, we're going to do more business than we did in the last 10 years. Are you at the right place at the right time to do something great for yourself and your family? I'm going to end with this. After this weekend, after these last 3 days, never again can you honestly tell someone that you know and love, and be honest with them, that you never had a chance. This is your chance to do something special. This is your chance to make your mark. This is your chance to be special in the eyes of your family. It's time to start working towards your best life ever, folks. We can't thank you enough for spending the weekend with us. Travel safely home. God bless every single one of you. We'll see you all